Now it's time to talk about the new animated project from Nickelodeon called The Wild Pack. This is sort of my first impression of this series, and you have to say, I am oppressed. Of course, I am sort of concerned when the first time I watched this because I wasn't sure this be any good, any bad. Because at the very end, if you're a fan of Nickelodeon, you know the dreaded SpongeBob and the Loud House sort of, you must say, curse in a way. Because let's face it, Nickelodeon only cares about those shows, and that's it. That's also sort of a miracle that Rock, Paper, Scissors got greenlit for two more seasons. It's almost a miracle. And that's the problem. That only happens once in a long while. The Wild Pack is very good. And in fact, so good, I feel he actually won up SpongeBob because how relatable the kids is. But on top of all this, the whole show feels very action based with slice of life comedy mixed to it, sort of the drama of being step siblings, how both of them unite becoming one full family now. And that itself is very exciting because it just feels so different from the La House or SpongeBob. Specifically, how Nickelodeon does sort of slice of life cartoons. Some reason Nickelodeon is obsessed with it, maybe because they sort of their bread and butter. That is basically their audience, the slice of life. This is the reason why they try so different versions of slice of life, if not versions of SpongeBob. But I have to say, do I recommend it? Yes. In fact, I recommend at least try the first episode because I did enjoy it, but it has that sort of Nickelodeon issues that they want to make sure the kids, the main two kids, Jack and Lou, being sort of independent. They're probably smarter than the adults. You maybe notice this that Nickelodeon has to happen doing that in some specific shows to boost kids' morale to watch the series. Like, oh, they're so confident, they know what they're doing. But also sometimes that feels a little bit impossible because it feels sort of unrealistic because how the whole show is trying to be sort of realistic life with a slice of life adventure twist that it make it break it or make it work in this series. Lucky for us, they understand that because each single character you watch this series are fully developed and flawed. And they really showed that in the first episode. And that itself is sort of understanding why you're running, who you're running, and how you execute it. In my opinion, it does it pretty well. Of course, before I continue on, my name is Rachel. I like to talk about animation, not just animation to reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, you like how it's going, like to help my channel, put a like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only thing you do. If not, that's fine. You do, thank you. Because of you, I'm getting close to my main goal, up to the subscribers. And yes, I'm getting close every single day because of people like you. People who like, comment, and share. Now, let's get started on my first impression of the Wild Pack. Now, how to describe this show? If you remember, Nickelodeon used to have a show like Hey Arnold. If you like the vibe of that, how mature, deep, and also ridiculous it is, you probably like the Wild Pack as equally. But the only problem is, they still have that sort of season one issue. They do know what they want. It just sort of they did not come out how they wanted. Little by little, they will fix the problem in basically perfected it. But yet, it's still very good. Especially our two main leads is basically Jack and Lou. Both of them don't really like each other because they have sort of I want to say alpha sort of pride, like let me take a charge. No, let me take a charge. I know what to do. They try to be the fairy child in the family, and that's sort of their dynamic. They try to one up each other, but at the same time they don't like each other. But little by little, they start to fall in love like family, like how a brother and sister act and realistically if they're not half siblings. And I like that dynamic. Even that I do believe their parents are a little bit incompetent, but yet very kind. They're not incompetent because oh they lazy or anything. It's the fact it's hard. It's sort of difficult to be an adult because you don't know certain things. Just bet you surprise you. You don't know how to tackle it, and that's how to approach the parents, especially Jack, mom, who was divorced of Jack's dad and remarried a different woman, but we don't know why they're reason because that's not the focus. The only thing you know, both parents are on good terms and they share Jack back and forth whenever they have time. But it also kind of points out maybe Jack's mom didn't realize bringing a son in is sort of a kind of like a documentary of nature. What I mean that Jack's mom is sort of the person who goes the forest and the desert and sea to take sort of documentary films, and she taking her son with very basically dangerous location that wasn't a good idea to begin with because she was sort of start to notice little things. Jack being too unfocused now, where he's sort of focused on the wrong things, like taking the shot of the camera of a waterfall or a plant. But he's sort of, I remember right, I don't know, he was supposed to be 11 or 13. Let's say 11 for right now. But the only problem is, little by little, Jack shows that he needs other kids of his own age to talk to, and that he won't admit it. In fact, he is so proud of his own mother, he attempted to be her, risk his own life to take the shot for a sort of a documentary film for the company. The only problem is Jack's mom, as the adult, she can do it. She quite literally lived her life, but Jack's not yet there. He's too young, and she wants to sit him down, talk to him, and point out this is kind of messed up. It was wrong with me to basically take you with me with my job. And that in itself kind of blew me away because I wasn't expecting the real talk. And I think that's what's so good of the first episode. They had little moments of real conversation, real things where you talk to your own parents, like maybe I have sort of issue, maybe I'm not focused enough, maybe I should try something brand new instead repeating the same thing again and again. Real talk. And that is just sort of fascinating. Of course, Jack doesn't like this because he was sort of not gonna help his mom, he wasn't sure of it, till he kind of met his half sibling Lou, that they both are aware they exist, they don't like each other. But this is the other half, the other part, the first episode make this interesting. Lou is also very confident, very capable. That she wants something, she does it. They have both characters so much personality, but they sort of awkward with each other because they don't know how to approach the other one while pisses the other one off because both of them want different things. And I feel that's sort of very interesting because Lou is just a very fun little girl who wants play video games, have a good time in summer, and her friends. On top of this, this is the first time she has her own room. She actually worked hard, figured out a way to get her own space. But the only problem is she wasn't expecting Jack to take her place because everybody forgot Jack is coming because the parents was sort of busy, and forgot about it. Oh no, we have to fix this right now. And this is the reason why they get sort of loose room to Jack. And that's just sort of interesting sort of dynamic you get how Lou feels, especially you see how much work she does to have a sort of on her own space. But lucky for us, they finally kind of do click, realizing they do like similar things. They could probably make this work. But top of all this, I have to admit, the animation is pretty good. You could say they trying to do sort of the Loud House sort of comic book strip sort of style, but in a way not the same. This one feels how the art style feels so comfortable. It has that sort of vibe, that sort of chill vibe, but yet it could be adventurous because how the animation flows super well. Because the character designs are simplistic, but yet very expressive. You understand the emotion. You can understand the subtlety. In fact, one of the big example is sort of Lou's grandmother, who only speaks Korean, but how she moved her face, how they does a sort of joke, and she's just sort of very expressive also, and that's what I really enjoy. I also enjoy all the little Korean sort of culture around the family. Like they do speak Korean, watch Korean television, or read or show sort of kind of stereotypes or types of Korean once in a long while, and that the thing make it so unique and refreshing because slice of life I think is the best way to interject different cultures with different people, in that it just took a little while to bring Korean families on front. Also, Latino families, Black families, other families. That I hope this becomes a new blueprint with different slice of life cartoons, taking notes how to make sort of a different culture family interesting but yet super fun, but never kind of down, do not tuck down to the audience kind of vibe because it works very well. Especially I love all the characters because the first time you met all the characters, the two kids, the grandma, their parents, all of them do have strong personality, but at the same time you understand who they are instant. The little dynamics, the little going back and forth, everything clicks so well, especially the action that I wasn't expecting to have very good action for a simple chase scene to figure out how to escape, just making a deal to someone going back and forth to solve their own problems, especially how the animation feels kind of comic book, sort of 80s or 90s sort of worthiness, but it works so well, especially how the animation direction nails it. On top of this, the background is just so well done. It's almost shocking. And every time they have sort of an action scene, they should have sort of show a sort of like a angle of the art style just pops so much. Like everything works so well because the team knew what to do with the assignment. They know they had to do slightly different but make it pop. And you know what? They nailed it. The character designs, the background, even the music feels something like kind of like jazz. This is the reason I kind of compare this to Bessie Hey Arnold. Have that sort of jazz, sort of city vibe, but you know everybody's so different and unique because have different cultures, and that's the reason why I feel I really enjoy it. They really make sure to get that angle perfectly. In my opinion, they nailed it. That I really do enjoy. Of course, I don't know this series could continue on being this good. We have to wait and end of the series, and hopefully they again at least a season 2 to explore more of the dynamics and more about this world. For right now, that's all I can say. I don't know you. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Tell me down below. Let me know. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.